The stories of Adam and Eve and their children in the Bible should never be taken as historical events. These stories are just tales that reiterate biblical teachings that you'll read about later on in the Bible, like how disobedience to God will cause spiritual death or life chaos. If you try to take these stories as they aren't going to make sense because they were created to teach a point, not to be a historical lesson. For example, the story of Cain and Abel was only to teach humanity about envy and jealousy. Although it continues on a myth based storyline, the details conflict within the story. But I'll get to that in a moment. But let's focus on the moral of envy. In the story, God accepts Abel's sacrifice and he denies Cain's. This story is trying to show humans how in life you can feel like all of your sacrifices to achieve something never works out for you and you always fail. Yet it seems like the opposite outcome for everyone else who does the same as you. Now, in most cases, humans start to grow resentment or envy for someone, especially if they are in competition with them, and that can cause them to harm that other person. Now, the reason I stated earlier that you shouldn't take these stories literally is because if a parent only accepts gifts from one child and denies the other, then that parent would be at fault for showing favoritism and causing adversity in their children. But culturally, this story is just used to show the Levites that the proper way to sacrifice to their God is to use animals and not crops. Now, another reason you can't take this story at face is because God put a mark of protection on Cain so others wouldn't kill him. Yet there wasn't supposed to be any more humans on the face of the earth. The Bible story even says Adam had more sons and daughters only after their eldest child, Seth, was born. The mark was that the reiteration of vengeance alone belongs to God. Yet in Leviticus 24, the laws call for an eye for an eye. So depending on the context or situation, the Bible can have opposing views. But in the New Testament, Jesus saying turn the other cheek is just a way of him saying vengeance belongs to God. So for every story in every parable, it's a message there. So the point is to focus on the message and not try to be a literalist with the Bible. Cello